Welcome, everybody, to another chapter of Chamber Chat, your reporter on the street. Today, it's my honor to introduce to you Alex Gorsky, Bucks County's own Chairman and CEO of Johnson & Johnson. Under Alex's leadership, Johnson & Johnson continues, I believe, in its 133rd year to be one of the world's exceptional corporations. The company was given the #1 ranking on Barron's Magazine 2016 list of the world's most admired companies. And as I understand it, it is currently the #1 pharmaceutical company on Fortune Magazine's list of the world's most respected companies. Alex, to me, you are one of my most respected people, and you have been such a great supporter of the Chamber. Thank you for talking with us. And the big question that everybody wanted me to ask you is, where are you on the road to a vaccine, and what all has happened within J&J over these past months? It's all yours.
Okay. Well, Vail, first of all, thank you so much for having me on today. As you know, my wife and I and our family, we are so proud to be residents and to be part of the Bucks County community. We have been for just about 30 years. And so the ability to, for me to have my career here, for us to raise a family, to be part of the community, just means so much. And it's a very special place to live. And so I'm proud to be able to engage with the Chamber today.
Thank
you.
Look,
let me first start by just thanking our employees for the incredible work that they've been doing, many of whom live right next door to many of the people probably watching this call. You know, a significant number of our employees live in the Bucks County area. And, you know, since—
have them join the Chamber.
That's right.
We would welcome them.
We'll have to do that. And, you know, since all of this started actually back in February and March of this year, you know, many of them have continued going to work throughout this period, especially those that are working in our manufacturing facility, for example, over in Fort Washington, those who are working in our laboratories in Springhouse, to make sure that ultimately we can be providing products and services to customers, to consumers, to patients who might be fighting cancer, who might be taking on a difficult immune disorder, or having a surgery. And we couldn't do that without their hard work and dedication, even in the face of this pandemic. You know, of course, the other thing that we've been doing is to see what could we do to actually help stop this.
Right.
And, you know, look, I never imagined, you know, almost 10 years ago when I started this role that we'd be facing the world's most significant pandemic, the economic challenges, the societal issues all at once. And to know that right here in Bucks County with Johnson & Johnson, that we could actually be working on something that makes a difference for the world is really special. But we also take that responsibility quite seriously. And immediately in January, when we got some of the initial information about the virus, our scientists took some of that sequencing. And fortunately, for the past 10 years, we had been doing some work in vaccines, particularly in the area of Ebola, of HIV, and other respiratory illnesses. And very quickly, we were able to take the platform that we were working on, and what I would say is think of that almost as a carrier, a car. And we were able to take a component of the coronavirus that we had pulled together from the sequencing, insert it in a way that it actually tricks the body into thinking that it's accepting a common cold virus. And in fact, when it recognizes this one component that has the coronavirus, your body then begins producing its own antibodies. They're called neutralizing antibodies, which provides you protection against the virus. And we've tested it on many different animal models. The early signs have been quite encouraging. And we just started several weeks ago our first test in humans, where we're looking—
Really? Congratulations. That's exciting.
At safety, we're looking at efficacy. We're going to be gathering a lot of information. And then, of course, at the same time, was really important. Not only that we have a safe and effective vaccine, but a vaccine that we can produce in the right quantities. So at risk, we literally started production, and we want to be able to ramp up so that we could have, hundreds of millions to billions of doses of these vaccines available as we work our way through 2020 and 2021. And of course, we're going to do this on a not-for-profit basis. We think that it's important for the world to have access to this. But again, what I would go full circle and say, knowing that many of our scientists, many of our colleagues right here in Bucks County are bringing that kind of biology and chemistry and engineering to bear to literally have an impact on the world is quite a remarkable thought.
Do you think that the vaccine will be up and running before the end of the year?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer with certainty.
I know.
What I would say is one thing that all of us have found out about this.
It's our wish.
It's been more challenging, and it has probably provided us more surprises than most of us would have anticipated early on.
Is that right?
And so what I would say, based upon the scientists and the researchers that we're talking to, I think the good news is we've got so many companies that are in the hunt right now. In fact, I think worldwide we probably have 5 or 6 that are right now in the process of testing different vaccines. And by the way, it's not competition between the companies. The competition.
That's what I love.
It's the virus. Exactly.
Yes. You're working together.
We're working together. We're collaborating. We're sharing information with regulators, with the FDA, but with respective agencies in Europe and other places around the world. And we also know that, look, while a vaccine is going to be critical, it's only one piece of the puzzle. We need to have great therapeutics, great medicines that can treat patients who are already infected with the virus.
Are you working on that?
We are scanning our library, but there are many companies right in this area that are making good approaches on things like antivirals that can stop the virus from replicating. In other cases, we're looking at things called immune modulating agents. And what tends to happen with this disease is your immune response sometimes either is not enough or it can go into overdrive. And so being able to intercede in that process with the right kind of therapeutic is very important. And we're going to be finding a lot more information about those therapeutics literally in the coming weeks and months as well. So I think as we move through 2020 in the fourth quarter, as we get early into 2021, what we're going to find is there's no one silver bullet. But if we can have multiple options for vaccines, because look, some may work better in one patient population or another.
Right.
Some might require 1 dose, others may require 2. Some may require significant, for example, distribution issues that they'll face regarding things like refrigeration. And so having a lot of options, I think ultimately is going to benefit everybody. Having therapeutic options will be important. And of course, look, let's also give a hand to the people who are working at Doylestown Hospital, for example, the people on the front line who have done just an amazing job of learning about how to treat the virus, of doing a better job with testing, with putting protocols in place, the way they're treating patients. Because all those things together, I think working holistically are what ultimately is going to get us through this pandemic and get us to the other side.
That's awesome. I can't thank you enough for all you and your people are doing. Quick question. If somebody gets COVID and develops antibodies, how long do the antibodies usually protect them?
Well, we don't know.
I've heard different things.
Yeah, we don't know the definitive answer to that yet, but I think most researchers feel that it's likely from a period of 3 months out to a year or plus. And the way that I would encourage all of us to think about this going forward is this could be somewhat similar to the flu, in that every year or every 2 years, all of us will be encouraged and find it necessary to get a vaccine, a shot, so that we can get through. And look, in this intervening period, we're going to learn a lot more about how long those antibodies last. What's the durability of a vaccine in terms of how long it will protect you during that period. How does it work in older people? How does it work in younger people? So that's information that we're going to be garnering. And again, it's going to give us a much more comprehensive understanding of the virus and of the different and most effective and efficient approaches to beating it.
This is awesome, Alex. I have just one more question that I've got to ask. Do you think there'll be a second wave this year? You keep hearing about that. You know, there's going to be a flu season. COVID's going to have a second wave. What do you and your people think?
Well, it's hard to predict, but
I know.
I think what most of our experts would feel is that we are still somewhat in the first wave of the virus.
Oh, okay.
And what I mean by that is, look, obviously areas like New York City and New Jersey, Philadelphia were hit very early on in the pandemic, back in the February, March, April timeframe. Then, of course, we've seen it hit the South and the Southwest. Now we've learned a lot, and while the increasing spread in some of the southern areas is certainly a concern, we've seen a pretty dramatic difference in death rates thus far. We're going to have to watch and see how that translates later on, because that could be a lagging indicator. But I think much of that is, do we better understand how to treat these patients? We're doing more tests. The protocols that are being followed in the hospitals are much more significant, because frankly, there's some of this that we just didn't understand in those very early days. We hadn't treated enough patients. So look, I think that we're going to have to be very cautious through this fall season. It's interesting though, what we're seeing, even as of this past week, the flu season in Australia and in South Africa has been significantly lower. The regular flu season.
Is that right?
Significantly lower, because people are taking it more seriously. They're masking, they're washing their hands. So you're seeing the transmission rate of the common flu go down for those reasons, which I think is good news. But I think, look, the fall season, and again, as we get into early next year, and hopefully when we have additional therapeutics and some vaccines available, even if it's in more limited populations, we're going to have to work together as a community. We're going to have to be careful. We're going to have to be thoughtful, and do our very best to keep not only our employees but our communities, everybody safe.
I have my mask.
Wear that mask. That's right.
Thank you so much, Alex. Is there anything you want to say before we close up this issue of Chamber Chat?
Well, just a couple of things. One is, I want to thank the Bucks County community for all the support that you certainly provide for the employees at Johnson & Johnson. I'm so proud that they're members of our community organizations. They're on school boards. They're part of the fabric of the community. And the way that the community has welcomed so many of them who maybe we have transferred in or out, I just think is awesome. And I know that when they feel part of a community, they're going to be more engaged. They're able to do their jobs better, do their work better, and in this case, hopefully make an even bigger impact for the world. So thank you for your efforts. I would encourage everyone to stay vigilant, stay healthy, wear that mask, wash our hands. That keeps not only you safe, that keeps everybody safe. And remember, we are going to get through this, and we're going to be stronger on the other side.
Thank you for your leadership, your strong leadership. God bless you, all your people. And thank Tom Brunt, our videographer, who's putting this together for us. God bless each and every one of you. That ends this issue of Chamber Chat. Thank you, Alex.